How to learn a language inexpensively. Learning another language can be fun, educational, and very useful. It can make both business and travel much easier, and can be an enjoyable way to exercise your mind. However, not everyone has the resources for a language tutor or class, or to buy one of the popular computer programs for language learning. The good news is, there are inexpensive, and even free, ways to teach yourself any language you are interested in learning. Method 1. Finding study materials. 1. Visit the library. If you're starting to learn a new language from scratch, you will need some kind of instructional materials to help you learn the grammar and structure of the language. There are many books and audio courses to help with this, and your local library will likely have some of them. Language course materials can cost a lot if you are buying them new, but your local library will most likely have both books and CDs you can check out for free to get started. Most libraries have a system for borrowing materials from other libraries, so if they don't have anything at your skill level, they may be able to order it within a few days. 2. Buy used language books. If you get serious about a language, you may decide you need instructional books of your own, so you don't have to worry about library due dates. If this is the case for you, look into buying used, older editions of language books. While languages do change, they do so slowly over long periods of time. Many language textbooks, however, come out in a new edition every year. When this happens, prices for the old editions drop considerably. The material they contain, however, is still perfectly useful for self-study. Used bookstores and thrift stores often carry used language texts. If the language you are learning is less common, look on the internet for inexpensive used materials. Books for foreign language are also often available inexpensively. 3. Take a free online course. If you want a little more structure, but can't afford to take a course, there are many free online language courses that can get you started on your new language. The BBC website contains free language materials for 40 different languages, free of charge. Many nations' international TV or radio networks also feature free courses in the language of the home country. In Germany, for example, DS Welle offers free German courses. Search online to see if there are options like this for the language you want to learn. The website Omniglot features listings of online instructional materials for hundreds of languages, as well as basic materials of their own. Some of their listings are paid subscription services, but others are free. Method 2. Learning the vocabulary. 1. Make flashcards. Learning a language is about both grammar and vocabulary. One tried and true method for learning vocabulary is using flashcards, available at any office supply store for a few dollars. The glossary of your language book or a basic dictionary or phrasebook can provide the content for these flashcards. Write a word on one side and definition on the other. Use these to quiz yourself. When you learn a word well enough that you get it every time, remove it from the stack and create a new pile. Review these every month or so, just to make sure you don't forget them. 2. Use an app. If paper flashcards are too much of a hassle, there are a number of free phone apps and computer programs that basically do the same thing, quizzing you on words and sentences. Duolingo and Memrise have a game, like Feel, that many people find appealing. Anki works just like flashcards, but automatically reduces the frequency of words as you show consistent mastery of them. 3. Use a dictionary. A language dictionary or translation app like Google Translate or WordReference.com can also come in handy when trying to learn vocabulary. In your studies, when you come across a word you don't recognize, make sure to look it up. If you're using paper flashcards, you might make a flashcard to add to your stack after you look up a new word. 4. Pair words with images. If you are having trouble remembering words, try to pair mental images with the words, based on what they sound like. For example, the German word for poison is Gift. Poison obviously doesn't make a very good gift, but you could imagine a bottle of poison with a skull and crossbones on the label, tied up in red gift bough. The Italian word for horse is cavallo. This sounds a lot like follow, so you might imagine a horse following you around your home as you get ready for work. This might seem time-consuming, but once you come up with a mental picture that works, you'll be able to remember words quickly and easily. The more vivid and interesting the image, the more likely you are to remember it. Method 3. Practicing the language. 1. Find a conversation group. Studying on your own is important, especially when you are still learning the basics. To truly master a language, however, you need to use it in a more natural context. A great way to do this is to join a conversation group. Most cities have free conversation groups for many different languages. Joining one of these groups gives you a chance to use your new language on a regular basis in a natural, conversational way. Search on the internet to find one of these groups. Many of them use meetup.com to organize their meetings. 2. Watch foreign films and TV. Hearing native speakers use the language is another great way to learn it. Rent some movies in the language you are learning, or check out some television shows from a country the language is spoken in. Many countries make at least some of their content available for free online for international audiences. The website of the German-American International Congress, for example, allows you to stream German television shows for free and entirely legally. Search online to see if there's an option like this for the language you are learning. Find programs that interest you. It will make this form of studying much easier. 3. Listen to music and podcasts. Another great way to hear the language spoken by native speakers is by listening to music or podcasts from abroad. Again, there are often free options for this. The website TuneIn Radio lets you listen to radio programming from other countries for free. There are also pre-made playlists on Spotify for different countries that you can stream for free. There are a number of free podcasts that can be very helpful for language learners as well. For example, for many languages, you can download a podcast of the daily news, read slowly in the language of your choice. This allows you to hear native speakers pronouncing a wide variety of words correctly, but at a pace that's easier to comprehend. 4. Do some light reading. When you first start learning a new language, you won't be able to sit down and read the great classics of literature in that language. Start with something lighter that you still find interesting. Many people will start by reading children's books or comic books in the language they are learning. The pictures can add context that improves your comprehension. Simple magazine content that focuses on topics that interest you can also work well. If you are interested in fashion, for example, try picking up a fashion magazine in the language you are learning. Tips. Use your new language as much as possible. This is how you will really internalize it. It may make you nervous to try speaking this language to others the first few times. Most people who are multilingual or trying to become multilingual, however, understand the challenges of learning another language and are encouraging of others to do so as well. Don't be afraid of making mistakes when you first start trying to use your new language. You will make mistakes, but this is how you learn a language.